This week on IBN West, our cameras were all over the Golden State collecting some of the best highlights in the nation. We've got them all right here for you. Plus, Dallas Jackson here to tell us what some of these great plays actually mean in terms of the Rivals High Top 100 rankings. It's all here on IBN West. Hi everybody, I'm Sam Farber and this is IBN West. Dallas Jackson is standing by, the Rivals High senior analyst. Right now, let's take you through the regional replay. Best plays in the West begin in Arizona. Glendale, a walkover victory over Liberty. Paul Panaccione had a huge day. Here's a 70-yard punt return. Glendale wins 49-0. Kellis versus Brown, also from Arizona. Here's the quarterback, Kyle Jackson, making some passes, but it's his receivers doing the work. Rakia Bain, 32 yards up the left sideline to the house. And then Micah Rentrope is going to take the pass here, reverse fields, and he'll go the rest of the way. 55 yards for the score. Kellis beats Brown 68-8. Let's move on to the ranked teams now. Number 72, Servite versus Oceanside, and this is all Charlie Etiaki. 72 yards on the run. Servite's defense shuts out Oceanside 20-0 the final. Ventura versus Pacifica. Here's Rodney Stanley throwing off his back foot, finds Connor Armstrong, a 12-yard touchdown, 34-16 the final. CDM Corona Del Mar, Brent Lawson tossing it up for grabs. Troy Reese, a nice juggling catch, and CDM beats Savannah 40-8. In Northern California, Leland's Chris the Great Santini accepts the pass. He'll go 36 yards to the house. Leland beats Highlands 52-7. Best play of the week, perhaps on defense, Jude Isbell for Eastlake. A potential game-tying score? I don't think so. He annihilates it. Eastlake hangs on to win 21-14. Back to Arizona, one of the state's very best teams, Chaparral in action versus Marcos Denize. Here's a nice pass into the house. Chaparral would win by a final score of 24-6. Back on over to the Golden State now. Rancho Santa Margarita versus Long Beach Jordan. And here comes the QB for RSM. Here's Johnny running to the left side. He'll cut it back into the right. And he's going to have to work for the last yard. Stretches to the end zone. 40 yards for the score. Defensively, Ryan Wolf had a bit easier time finding the land of 6. He's going to go ahead and pick off this pass right here, run it up right sideline, a 26-yard pick six. Rancho Santa Margarita wins 56-0. Next up, we've got the St. John Bosco Braves versus Mission Hills. Devontae Young with the run this time. He's going to cut it out to the right sideline and head into the end zone. It's a 29-yard run for the touchdown. Next up, we'll see Raymond Medina at QB, back to pass, and this is just a gorgeous deep ball. Bryce Treggs on the other end, but it travels almost all 45 yards in the air for the score. St. John Bosco wins 27-0. On to Mission Viejo, where they have a long line of great quarterbacks. Next one could be Alex Bridgeford. Here he hits his receiver in stride for 6, and later on a jump ball that's going to find his wide receiver's hands as well. Even in traffic, Mission Viejo beat Centennial 35-6. Number 35, Oaks Christian versus number 36, Bellevue. Early on, it was OC through the air. The catch by Jordan Payton at the back of the end zone gave OC the lead, but Bellevue won on the ground. Wolverines running back John Nguyen rumbles into the land of 6. Bellevue wins 31-21. Finally, Orange Lutheran versus Bingham, and this one was all Olu. Connor Sullivan with the pass. Great juggling catch made by Miles Willis. Olu wins 42-7. A ton of highlights out west and even more big games to talk about. To break them down, Dallas Jackson here, senior analyst from Rivals High. Dallas, first off, the major storyline are some maybe minor upsets. Minor in that a lot of the teams were ranked very close to one another. Bellevue able to clip Oaks Christian over at Mission Viejo High School in that classic. Also, there was a Long Beach Poly 1-point win over another ranked team in Grant, and Pleasant Grove in the top 25 was upset this week in OT. Talk about these upsets.
Well, I think the most surprising there was Pleasant Grove. They looked pretty good last week when they beat Monterey Trail, scored 30 points. This week they gave up a lot of points on defense. The offense still looked very good, but for them to fall this early in the season was a bit of a surprise. As you alluded to, Long Beach Poly winning by 1 against Grant on a blocked extra point is a marginal upset, even if you might not even want to call it an upset. Those two teams are very evenly matched entering the season, so we're not surprised by that kind of game. We are surprised that there have been so many close scores And you look at De La Salle as one of those prime examples, beating Bellarmine 26-23 in overtime. It's just a lot of fantastic games out west this week.
Certainly were. You mentioned that De La Salle game, getting a win over Bellarmine, albeit in overtime. De La Salle is a team that's used to rolling people up in Northern California. Does the fact that they played the Bells so closely hinder their chances of being the #1 team in the nation either this week or at the end of the year?
Well, the win is probably going to be a knock against them all season. De La Salle has dominated Northern California competition. Folks around the country really don't respect Northern California as much as they should. That said, this is going to be a knock against them. It's going to be a black mark all season where they really should have lost. They missed an extra point in overtime. Bellarmine scored and then missed their extra point, which opened the door back up for De La Salle to capitalize. I would say that, winning a national championship is going to be hard to do. It's going to be hard to overcome that perception of that win, even though it is a good win. Bellarmine was in the top 50 nationally, and they're going to remain there on the strength of this loss.
Absolutely. And Northern California proved a lot last year in the California Bowl games. We'll see what happens as the year plays out. Dallas, thanks so much for the time. Coming up later on, if you keep clicking around, you can see if any of those plays, I'm sure a few of them, are going to crack our national top 10 list. To find out, you have to watch IBN National. For now, I'm Sam Farber saying thanks for watching IBN West.